Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into something that seems pretty simple on the surface, but when you look closer, it's actually a masterclass in how to communicate effectively. We're going to deconstruct a prompt, basically a set of instructions, to show you the hidden architecture that makes a message really truly land. It's a fantastic question, isn't it? And the answer, well, it's not what you might think. It's not always about having some brilliant, once-in-a-lifetime idea or some flashy design. Nope. More often than not, really powerful communication starts with a surprisingly detailed and strategic plan. Okay, so take a look at this. At first glance, it's just a request for a video script. But here's the twist for our explainer. We're going to treat this prompt as our source material. Yeah, we're going to dissect this thing like it's a blueprint to uncover all the secret strategies that make communication actually work. So let's dive right in and see why this document is so much more than a simple to-do list. It's really a strategic map for creating something with real impact. So what are we even talking about when we say communication blueprint? Well, think of it like this. It's the architectural drawing for a compelling message. I mean, you wouldn't build a house without a detailed plan, right? The very same idea applies when you're creating content that you want to resonate with people and actually achieve something. Now, here's what's really cool about this blueprint. It starts with the two most important questions you can ask. Who are we talking to, and why are we even talking to them in the first place? And this just perfectly shows the power of being specific. Look at the left side, targeting everyone interested in AI. That's kind of like shouting into a huge crowded room. It's just noise, and nobody really feels like you're talking to them. But now look at the right. Small businesses, entrepreneurs, and citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. Bam! All of a sudden, the message has a crystal clear target. It creates that feeling of, hey, this is for me. And that's the absolute first step in making a real connection. So once the who is locked in, the blueprint immediately nails down the why. And you gotta notice, these aren't just vague hopes. They are solid, measurable goals. The mission is to educate, to promote a very specific website, to keep the tone just right, and, this is critical, to include a strong call to action. You see, success is defined before a single word of the script is even written. All right, so let's move on to the framework. Let's see how this blueprint builds the narrative from the ground up, turning a list of goals into a story that people actually want to follow. It is no accident that this blueprint calls for a classic 3-act story structure. You start with a hook to grab their attention, then you deliver the real value in the middle, and you finish with a powerful outro. This isn't just a random order of events. It's a proven psychological journey that guides the viewer and keeps them locked in from beginning to end. But look, having a great story is like building a super fast rocket. It's pretty pointless if you don't have the fuel to get it off the ground, right? So how does the blueprint make sure the right people actually find this message? Well, it builds the fuel right in. So the key takeaway here is that these keywords are not just some random buzzwords they're tossing around. No way. Each one has a specific strategic job. Tech in Trinidad, that's all about targeting local search. AI for small business, that speaks directly to what someone needs. Digital transformation taps into a way bigger business trend. And finally, digital link TT, that's just pure brand recognition. It's a multi-layered strategy designed to connect with the audience on a whole bunch of different fronts. Okay, finally, let's look at what might be the masterstroke of this whole blueprint, how it makes sure the story doesn't just end, it actually inspires the audience to get up and do something. Action usually starts with trust, and trust is built through tone. The blueprint is super explicit about this. The voice has got to be engaging, professional, clear, and motivational. And this isn't just about sounding nice. It's about creating an atmosphere where the viewer feels informed, respected, and totally empowered to take that next step. And here it is, the perfect example of that tone in action. This closing line doesn't just say, hey, visit our website. It does so much more. It summarizes the core value, your link to the future, and then it flips the focus right back to the viewer, because the next big idea might just start with you. It's so empowering. It makes clicking that link feel like the totally natural next step on their own personal journey. So this whole deep dive really brings us to a final, powerful question. After taking apart this one simple prompt, we've seen how every single piece, from the audience and the keywords to the call to action, is all meticulously planned out. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if the real key to turning a simple idea into a powerful message isn't in all the fancy execution, but in the clarity and the strategy of the blueprint you create from the very, very beginning?